Okay, we're working on project 28 here. And so go ahead and make sure you've opened project 28. And because of the amount here that you're going to be copying over, I strongly recommend that you right click here and open in a new tab. We're going to be doing this one quite a bit different than the book. So in this one, instead of using Google Forms, we're going to be using Google Docs, and we're going to be creating a form very similar to what you see in figure 128 or figure 28. So I'm going to scroll down to figure 28 on the other screen. We're just going to pull that over so you know what I'm talking about. And so it's going to look a lot like this when we are done. And so you notice that here we have the check boxes, that they're all numbered and lined up nicely, and we have this circle thing in front of all of the other lines. Okay, just so that you basically get an idea as to what this should be looking like when we're done. Our document should look a lot like this. Okay, so I'm going to drag that over to the other side. There is some formatting we're going to do after we're done, only because it's going to work better to do a lot of the formatting when we're done, but some of it we'll be doing as we work. So with that all being said, we're going to start with our blank document here, and we're just going to start by copying quite a bit. We're going to copy from auto insurance coverage questionnaire all the way down to, oops, come on, all the way down to rental car right there. Okay, so you see where I copied to, Control C. I'm going to paste that in here, Control V. Good. Now we're going to make it look more like a regular form would look like. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select these right here. And I'm going to make that 18-point font, bold, and center aligned. Now, when we're done, we'll also be turning this whole thing to black because right now it's that gray. We're just not doing it right now because, frankly, we'll have to do it again when we're done anyways. All of this right here was bold, just to let you know, bold. This here, types of coverage, was bold and 16-point font. 16 is not an option. 16. There we go. And let's see, this here was bold. Okay. And that's just looking at the material here. Now, it's very common on these types of documents that this first word that's all in caps will be in a different font than the other material. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select this right here. And we're going to make that Times New Roman. Okay. Still 12-point font. Coming over here. Times New Roman. Coming down to here. You can see what I'm doing to select these. Not doing anything fancy at all. But you can see that the first word there, I'm leaving an Arial. Okay. This is not an uncommon look at all on these types of contracts. So we're just going to go through that and finish these. And Times New Roman. Okay, so at this point, we've got all of that in there. Let's see here. So the next thing we're going to put in is we're going to start our auto numbering. We're going to start our auto numbering right here. So I'm going to find the one that is the numbered list tool. It says 1, 2, 3 and has 3 lines. You noted on mine I had to click on these 3 dots. On yours, it might be over here somewhere. If it's on the main bar, it'll be somewhere towards the right. So, like I say, if you can't find it, look for these 3 dots. So, auto number. Good. And I'm just going to go ahead and copy something in so that for purpose of time and making this easier for all of us, Control C. And I'll be doing this on quite a bit of this. Okay, Control V. What type of auto insurance you're interested in? Then I'm going to press Enter. Now I'm going to press the Tab key. And that took me over to that A. Now what I'm going to do is float my cursor directly over the A, and I'm going to right click. If you're doing this on your Chromebook, you should be able to hold the Alt key down and click with the trackpad. Now the one I'm going to is this one here, the checkbox. Okay. Then I'm just going to click right here, type in, make sure your caps lock key is on at this point, type in liability, collision, comprehensive, C-O-M-P-H-R-E-N-S-I-V. I think I spelled it right. I don't know. Find out in a minute. Personal injury protection. Come on. Protection. Okay, obviously I spelled comprehensive wrong. And what I'm doing is I finish each of these lines. If you're not clear, I'm just hitting the enter key. What's the next one? Uninsured, underinsured. Oops. Now, for these slashes, I normally put a space there for a reason. And the reason is that way auto spell or auto correct will catch it if I've spelled it wrong. Okay, motorist. Hit the enter key again. Towing rental car coverage. Okay, and I forgot to put the slash there. Not a big deal. But I've got both those words there, backspace, so I know that it's basically spelled right. Arrow, backspace, arrow, arrow, backspace. Good. So that part's done. Okay, now as I finished this right here, you see where I'm at. I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to go backspace, backspace. Okay, and you notice that now I am lined up with this edge right here. Okay, the blue tab or in the edge of my text. And here I'm going to put in driving history. And my caps lock key is still on. And that was the last thing we're going to be doing that way. So now, enter. Now we're going to go back and put in auto numbering, and you'll see a problem that it's a 1. I don't want that to be a 1. I want that to be a 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click directly on the 1. I'm going to come down here to restart numbering, and I'm going to restart at 2 and OK. And then I'll just, or you could have clicked there. In the past 36 months, how many accidents have you been in? And again, I'm just sort of using this to save some time while we're doing the demo. Control C, that will be there for you. Control V if you need it. How many accidents you've been in? Enter, tab again. Okay, now that A is not what I want. So I'm going to right click directly on the A, and I'm going to choose the circle thing right here. Okay, if you cannot find the circle thing, okay, come down here to more bullets, but it's right here, and it was there on everybody's. Okay, now I'm just going to click right past the circle thing. I could have pressed the arrow key to go to where I'm at right now. 0, enter, 1 to 2, enter, and I believe it says 3 or more. I got to scroll this up a little ways. Yep, 3 or more. 3. Enter. Now, hold the shift key down and press the tab key, and that moves us one level to the left. Okay, so coming back over here, in the last 36 months, how many moving violations you've been cited for? Control C, Control V, enter, tab. Okay, so now because of all, I'm just gonna copy these here in. Control C, Control V. Okay, there we go. And let's see here. Enter, Shift tab, and that put me at 4. Has your driver's license ever been suspended or revoked? Okay, and that's right here. Control C, Control V, enter, tab, enter, no. Good. Okay, now I'm just going to scroll down over here if you're wondering what I'm doing on the other page. So now, enter, backspace, backspace, demographics. Demographics. Okay. And I'm going to do something else here real quick. Just before this one, I am going to put a blank line there. Put a blank line there. It'll actually come out a little better. Okay. Now, demographics. Enter. Now, we're going to start auto numbering again. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to click on auto number, and I don't want it to start at 1. I want it to start at 5. So I'm going to right click directly on that 1, restart numbering, 5, and there we started at 5. Okay, good. And what was 5 going to be? Age. Enter, tab. Now, the reason that it went back to the A is because we had a break here, so we need to make those circles again. So I'm going to right click directly on the A. I'm going to go over here and click on that there. Okay, and what have I got here? 16 to 19. 16 to 19. Now, because I'm going to be using the phrase years old several times, I'm just going to copy that, Control C. Enter. 20 to 23, Control V, enter. 24 to 29, Control V. 30 to 39, 30 to 39, Control V. 40 to 49, Control V. Let's see here, 50 to 59, 50 to 59, Control V, and 60 years or older. Okay, enter. Now again, hold the Shift key down, press the Tab key. Okay, gender. Enter, Tab, male. Enter, female. Enter, Shift Tab, marital status. Enter, Tab, married, single. Enter, married. Come on, what happened? That's interesting. There it goes. Okay, and I spelled that wrong. Single and married. Okay, and enter. Now, looking at this one here, I'm going to go backspace, backspace, hit enter once, and credit history. Enter, tab. Oops, I didn't want tab, so sorry, just hit enter, not tab yet. Okay, now we're going to start numbering again. My goof. And again, I'm going to right-click directly on that 1, restart numbering, 8. Okay, and I'm going to scroll over here on the side because I was not seeing what's on my other screen. Okay, so what is your credit score? Tab. Again, right-click directly on the A, the circle thingy. Okay, and let's see here, no credit score. Enter, 300 to 500. And I just hit enter at the end of the line to pop down to the next one. 501 to 650. That was enter. And let's see, 651 to 750. 751 to 850. 850. Enter. And that's it. Now I hit enter there, Shift Tab, takes me back to 9. What is the length of your credit history? Enter, Tab, no credit history. Enter, less than 1 year. Oops, they wanted the number 1 there. That's really not important, and I would never. Less than 1 year, 1 to 5 years. Enter, 5 to 10 years. Enter, more than 10 years. Enter. Okay, backspace, backspace, enter. Good. And now we're going to put in occupation. I'm going to scroll on my other screen over here real quick. Okay, so over here, occupation. Occupation. Start the auto numbering again. Okay, first fix my spelling. And then I come over here and right click on that and restart numbering. And I'm starting on number 10. Okay. So what is your occupational status? And I want those circles. Okay, I'm going to purposely hold off to changing the circles so you can see what happens if you want to change this. You really should put in the circles like you're doing there, but I just want to show you what happens if you decide you need to change it later. Okay. Okay, now you noticed when we did this that it also incremented the letters. But if I decide later I want to change that, I'll go ahead and I'll click on that A. Now, you can double click directly on a character to select just that one, but I want to select this entire series. And you see what it did. It selected all of them at this level. And then I can go in and change it. Okay. So if you've got it wrong, you don't have to go through and try and do a tremendous amount of work to fix it. Just go ahead and select that level and change them. Okay, enter, shift tab, and if employed, what is your occupation? Okay, and that was 11. Now let's take a quick look at the next ones. Okay, enter, backspace, backspace. Then I'm going to hit enter once more, contact information, enter, auto number again, auto number. Again, that we know what that one needs to be. That one needs to be a 12. So restart numbering at 12. And I'm just hitting enter instead of clicking out OK because it's a little bit faster. Name, N-A, name. I hit enter, home phone number, enter, worker cell phone number, home address. Did I miss something there? No, I didn't. Email address. Okay, now that I've got all of this done, so you notice that all of this stuff is lined up. All of the numbers are lined up to each other. Okay. And all of the second level, the dots and the boxes and stuff are all lined up to each other. Okay, now we want to switch this all to black at this point. So I'm just going to go Control A. I'm going to come over here to the A with that gray bar under it. There may be no bar under it because it may be confused as to what color. You may actually have more than one color in there and not notice it. But I'm going to go ahead now and click on that, and I'll click on black. Now all of that stuff is black. Good. Now, the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to select the words types of coverage, which remember we made 16 point, Arial, bold, okay, format painter, and I'm going to drag that over driving history, good, format painter, and I'm just scrolling down, drag that over demographics, good, format painter, drag that over credit history, good, format painter, drag that over occupation, good. Okay, so all of those are now bold. And the other things that were in bold when I looked at the material here was this section right here of the questions. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab that question and make that bold. Okay. Bold. Bold. That's why I said we do the formatting later. So there was no good reason to be fighting with trying to format it when we started. Age. Bold. Gender. Bold. Marital status. Bold. What is your credit score? Bold. 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 And let's see, wasn't all of that bold? Yeah, all of this down here. Oops, and I also missed the word contact information. You see that? So I'm just going to click here on occupation, format painter, drag that over to word contact information. Good. Now I'm just going to select the rest of this down here real quick and select bold. Okay, so we have something now that looks a lot like that form in your document. Again, the things I'm looking for that I want to see here. This is centered. This stuff up here is bold. Then the main word here is that matches these words here is in the same font as you see as the spot down here is in Arial, but the actual description is in Times New Roman. That is very commonly seen in documents and contracts like this. Then I want these numbers all lined up, okay? Now, if you did something wrong and somehow you wound up with, and I'm going to purposely grab a couple right here, okay? If you wound up with something like those over there, you'll just hold, and you saw what I did. I selected them and I pressed the tab key. So I'm just going to go ahead and hold the shift key down and tab back, okay? Because I had some students who wound up with stuff like way over here for some reason, and that's easy to fix. Anything else? Everything's lined up. Again, these dots, the boxes, all of that stuff. I'm going to go ahead and select. Oops. The thing is that now these are actually checkboxes, so you can see the way that they work. So I'm going to go ahead and select this one. Remember to change these. You select them, you right click, and the stuff is over here in that right click menu. On your Chromebook, you'll alt click. But there isn't really a lot more to this assignment. Have a great day.